Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Question number 8 is Councilwoman Nita Woods.
Mr. Patterson, tell us how you have been active in your current position in establishing and maintaining relationships between your organization and other local entities, and especially private companies.
I am so blessed to be here in Natrona County, where we have a very good association. Casper is the 800-pound city or gorilla in this community. We are one of the few communities in Wyoming that have suburbs, and we have a very close working relationship with all the mayors of those communities, and it's just and our county commissioners, and we have a great relationship. We get together regularly, and so when it comes to public entities, I have a very close relationship with all the governmental agencies. When it comes to social and human service agencies, nonprofit agencies, I have a very close relationship, having been asked to chair the United Way shortly upon my coming here, because frankly we needed to make the change away from the old, I hate to call it this, but this is what they described as the suck and blow method, to more of a collective impact method. And so I have a very close association with all of the food bank and all of the distribution centers and the folks that house the homeless and et cetera, because of my work in United Way. Private industry, close association with those who we are a oil and gas community, an energy community, and that is absolutely premier here in our community. And so we spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time with people in that industry, and the energy industry totally. Because we now have uranium being mined once again, and so I have contacts and associations in that. I sit on a board at the Chamber of Commerce. I support the Chamber in their efforts, as well as the local area economic development agency, as well as the Downtown Development Authority, and have a close association with all of those executive directors and many of their board members. Casper's unique. Casper's a wonderful community. People here are the most generous giving people I've ever interacted with, and so it has been very easy for me with my interpersonal skills to make contacts and friends and relationships.
Here. I'm also the chairman for the Downtown Redevelopment Agency. One thing I really, it's extremely important to me is economic development. And maybe I'll ask you a little bit later on about redevelopment. But for right now, I want you to explain to us what you think are the major impediments to economic development here in our city, and what you plan to do to address them.
Well, thank you. I think the question is, what are the major impediments to economic development in your city, and what I would do to try to solve those? Okay, thank you. And I apologize if I am looking down. I'm looking at you, and I need to look at the camera. So let me look at the camera. Thank you, Councilman Barron. I think that as I've been able to do the limited research that I have, and certainly I would appreciate a tutorial if successful. I look at the Apex development. When I look at your community and see how little of it is developed, percentage of I concern myself with why, and have wondered why. And it appears as though, maybe utilities, and I read that only because of the Apex, the $150 million necessary to get utilities to that large development. I presume that must be symptomatic, maybe throughout the other balance of properties that exist that are vacant and not developed. And so I would think that it's dollars associated with the provision of utilities. And that's always costly, but there are sources for funding, and certainly in areas where there have been previously economic hardship, there's opportunity for funding, and so I would assist and make contacts to accomplish that. It's certainly not an issue of workforce. You have trained, skilled workforce available, and so that would not be an issue. Diversification, being able to convince businesses that they can bet on North Las Vegas is important. And to that point, I guess I'd like to make two comments. One is image and identity. How do you sell yourself to the outside world, to corporate America, to let them know that it's a stable government, that it's not subject to receivership, that you will be a going concern, that you will do what's necessary, and the commitments you make you can honor because you will be in existence and can move forward. Secondly, in addition to that, I think that there's got to be an effort to find resources. And actually, that wasn't the second one I came up with. I apologize. I was so caught up in the image and identity. Again, I get off track. But I think that what I've been able to accomplish elsewhere was targeted recruitment, where we defined an industry that we wanted and we went after them, and through incentives, and working with them on entitlements, we were able to bring in specific industries to certain areas. And so whether it was manufacturing in North Myrtle Beach, we went after a Frito-Lay plant, we went after a Rocky Mountain Power for a peaker power plant. We targeted those. In Ogden, Utah, we defined ourselves through our strategic planning process as the outdoor recreation mecca of the Intermountain West, and we went after companies. And now there are more ski apparel and equipment companies, more outdoor recreation companies in Ogden, Utah than any place else in the world, more than in France. Being able to convince businesses that they can bet on North Las Vegas is important. And to that point, I guess I'd like to make two comments. One is image and identity. How do you sell yourself to the outside world, to corporate America, to let them know that it's a stable government, that it's not subject to receivership, that you will be a going concern, that you will do what's necessary, and the commitments you make you can honor because you will be in existence and can move forward. Secondly, in addition to that, I think that there's got to be an effort to find resources. And actually, that wasn't the second one I came up with. I apologize. I was so caught up in the image and identity. Again, I get off track. But I think that what I've been able to accomplish elsewhere was targeted recruitment, where we defined an industry that we wanted and we went after them, and through incentives, and working with them on entitlements, we were able to bring in specific industries to certain areas.
Mr. Patterson, I'm Larry Griffith, the CEO of the Teamsters Union. I represent 500 employees here in the city of North Las Vegas. We used to have almost 1,000. 500 of them were laid off since 2008. So I have a couple questions. Are you reading? Did you get these questions ahead of time? Or are you reading from a script? You can answer.
No.
You can answer honestly.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Thank you. I mean, did I do that good a job of answering them?
No, that wasn't it.
I didn't do that good a job of answering them. Oh, okay. No, there was no prior.
I really have one question. You said you followed the city of North Las Vegas. You understand their budget. You understand where they're at. You understand everything, all the problems they had with the labor unions. Why, with a man of your integrity, and you seem to be pretty brilliant, pretty smart, why would you apply for this job?
I think that's a fair question, and I wish I could see you, but I think that's a fair question, and I tried to summarize it there at the end. This is a challenge of challenges. This is something that I could really sink my teeth into. I can make a difference in North Las Vegas. The city that I'm currently working in is financially sound. They have more capacity than any community I've ever worked in. I love the people of the city of Casper. It's a wonderful community. I can sink my teeth into issues and problems and challenges that you and your labor union have, that the employees that you represent have. I have worked all my career making a difference in the communities that I have served. Smyrna, Georgia was the brunt of every joke. Erla Zwingli, when reporting on the 1996 Olympics coming to Atlanta, said, no matter where I went, from redneck Smyrna to posh Buckhead. And we took that article out of National Geographic and put it up on the wall. And it became our clarion call to make a difference. And we did. We turned Smarter Georgia around from being the brunt of every joke to being the envy of every city in metro Atlanta. When I went to West Valley City, as I mentioned earlier, I walked in the door and was told by the finance director that we had a significant budget shortfall that was going to require laying off folks. There was a community there that had no there there. Their image was terrible. I was then, years later, after lots of accomplishment with my team, declared the Wizard of West Valley because I helped to turn West Valley City around. It now is the entertainment side of Salt Lake County. Ogden, Utah. Ogden was an old, dying railroad town when Mayor Godfrey became mayor and invited me up to work with him. Ogden, Utah now is a vibrant, moving, going community that has, again, more apparel and outdoor equipment companies than any place else in the world. This is what I love to do. Casper, Wyoming is a wonderful community. I just know that the people of North Las Vegas need somebody to step in there and yoke themselves together with that council. And that's why I have applied, to try to make a difference in the lives of communities.
Thank you very much. Ms. Griffiths, was that your final question?
No. Can I ask one more?
Yeah, that'd be fine. One more.
Sir, based on the finances of the city of North Las Vegas, and I realize you want to come here and it'll take you a while to get your feet on the ground, get your new staff, put all your plans together. By that time, we'll be broker than we were before. Nothing against you, nothing against your skills. I don't believe we have the time to risk the fact of you being the new city manager. But that's my personal opinion. I'm next to nobody here, but that's my opinion. Thank you.
That was more of a statement, but if you want to answer that,
okay,
no, if you would like to answer that,
I
that's.
won't address.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Please go ahead. Did you want to? You don't have to respond. That
You
was
don't
not
have
a
to
statement.
respond to me if you don't want to.
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you. As the mayor said, I thought it was a statement. I just assumed that that it was a statement, and that you probably are one of the union representatives that asked the state to take receivership of the city.
I think you got that wrong. You need to see you didn't do your homework.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Griffith. That was more of a statement, and we appreciate you. But once again, on the agenda, this item will be on 11:5.